The Sixth Door. 1099 to unknown. This is my tale, and the maid's tale. A tale of a foolish, naive girl. Looking back on it now, I'm ashamed of everything. But I will tell you my story in its entirety without embellishments. I ask that you please not let go of my hand. The only things the knights left behind were a garment and a large pool of your blood. Blood had seeped into the fabric and was beginning to dry. When I clenched it in my hand, it made soft crackling sounds. The oppressive stench of death lingered in the tower. Michel, there's no point in a life without you. You know that, right? Have a wonderful family? You know I can't do that. Hey, Michel? Answer me. Come back to me. I don't care if it's as a ghost. I just need you here with me. Come back to me. Talk to me about nothing and about everything. Be irritated with me when I do something stupid. Scoff at me whenever I tell a bad joke. Trounce me at chess again. Put your arms around me one more time. Come on. I'm begging you. If you won't come back to me, then I'll go to you. I don't care if that's not what you wanted for me. This world without you is meaningless. Dying won't guarantee you get to see him again. He spends all his time refusing to talk to me, and when he finally does, he begs me to save his love. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Rather disappointed, to be honest. Who are you? Where are you? Quite daft, aren't you? Within these walls, I am everywhere. And you've heard of me before. What? I have no... Heavens, you are slow. Is that pretty head of yours only for decoration? What? But no, there's no one else. You might be thicker than these walls, my dear. Although, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You never did believe anything Michel said about me. You thought he was going mad. This is brilliant. No, there's no way. It can't be. The cursed witch, Morgana? Oh, you even know my name, do you? It would appear my legend has survived longer than I expected. I suppose I should thank all the humans who passed it down for me. You actually exist? I most certainly do, my dear. As I recall, you don't believe in the supernatural, do you? But it's hard to deny when that very witch is talking to you right this moment. Michel was not even slightly mad, my dear. I told him he was better off without his sanity, but he refused to listen. He wasn't deranged. His surroundings were. His environment, the people around him, his whole world. Can you imagine how dreadful that must have been? To be the only sane resident in a world gone utterly mad. It's a miracle he managed to keep his head. Remember what you said just before he died, my dear. You said it was all in his head. You said he couldn't tell the difference between illusion and reality. You said he had long since gone insane. Shouted it at the top of your lungs. No, that's not what I meant. Ah, poor Michel. If only you had believed in him about the witch. I feel bad for you too, though. You have my pity. What did you ever do to deserve this? Oh, and just to be perfectly clear, I played no part in either your or Michel's misfortune. The only force to blame for that is fate. You were a good, honest, joyful, lovable woman. And look at how the world treated you. May I ask you something? Was it you who sealed me in the tower? Yes, it was. That was what Michel wanted. Once I told him I would grant his wish. So I did as he asked. Though it looks like that ended up causing you even more pain. How tragic. So, you're planning to die. Are you hoping to reunite with him in heaven? That plan's destined to fail from the outset, my dear. God teaches that suicide is a sin and you'll go to hell for it. Then I will not kill you. Why not? Because I swore to Michel that I would save your life. Poor Giselle. If you have any other wish, I'll be happy to grant it. I can't bear to see you so miserable. A wish? You have but a single desire right now, to see him once more. Isn't that right, Giselle? Are you saying you can make that happen? You'll bring him back to life for me? The forces of life and death are outside of my realm. That is God's territory, or the angels. However, I can guarantee you this. His reincarnation. No, his reconstruction. His reconstruction? Yes. You can meet him again. Not in this life, but in some future life. Just imagine it. Finding your beloved again after overcoming so much tragedy. 10, 20, maybe 100 long years from now, you're finally reunited. Doesn't that sound marvelous? True unparalleled love in its purest form. What do you think? Just because you can bring his soul back doesn't make it Michel. I want to be with him, the brusque, impenetrable, slightly immature, but gentle as a butterfly man. The man who sincerely, deeply loved me. If it's the same soul in a different body, can you still call him my Michel? My apologies. You beat me to the punchline, and you did so with such ardor you threw me off balance. You're exactly right. The idea that if your love is strong enough, you can both be reborn and have exactly the same relationship is utter fairy tale nonsense. You must be the same people to have the same love, which is why I'm not promising his rebirth or reincarnation, but his reconstruction. Your wish can become reality, Giselle. As long as you wish for it with all your heart, it can come true. I'll wish for his reconstruction as well. You have a witch asking to make this happen, my dear, so you can be confident that it will bear fruit. And you wish for him to remain as himself. If he truly loves you, and he too wishes to reunite with you, your wish shall be granted. Will you really wish with me? I most certainly will, my dear. My poor, pitiful dear Giselle. I shall offer up my most heartfelt prayers for you. I'll wish for it. Until the moment of my death, I'll keep wishing for us to be reunited as the same people. I can't guarantee your reconstruction, though. What? I only said I'd guarantee his. Michel's is the only reconstruction I will wish for. I will not ask for yours. Why not? You're not looking at a benevolent wish-granting goddess, or an angel with a magic bow and arrow. You're looking at a cursed witch. Then how am I to be with him again? I can offer you but one option that will allow you to reunite with your reconstructed Michel. Tell me, what do I have to do? You must live here with me. Live with you? What do you mean? It was Michel who resurrected me, but he could not serve as my guide. I have work to do, but I cannot do it alone. I need a guide to assist me, because as you can see, I have no body. If this house did not exist in this world, then perhaps I might be able to give myself form. My soul's form. I don't understand anything you're saying. You don't need to understand. All I need from you is for you to show your utmost hospitality to the people I'm expecting to show up at this mansion someday. Entertain your guests? That's right, my dear. Michel isn't the only one whose reconstruction I'm wishing for. There are others. Several heinous sinners. So I want you to serve as a maid and watch over them when they arrive. And until then, keep the house in good condition. What? What are you scheming? Is that something you truly need to know, my dear? All you need to do is wish. Pray for the day your beloved appears before you again. For the day he wraps his arms around you once more. One word, Giselle. That's all I require. Do you want to see him again? Do you want to hear his voice again? I can promise you, you'll have your happiness back. What reason is there to hesitate? There isn't one. Or are you simply going to give up? I wonder, what would happen if you said no? If you disappear from this world, how will Michel react when he comes back? Will he be sad, angry, or will he forget about you and fall into the arms of another woman? No, he can't. Then make up your mind. Will you come with me, or will you throw it all away? If I had given it a little thought, I would have realized she was manipulating me. That she was just telling me what I wanted to hear. But I believed her. I accepted her proposition. As unbelievable as it sounded, my desire for her to be real overpowered everything. It was impossible not to grasp at the straws she was dangling in front of me. That was all I could do at the time. The witch's voice also had inexplicable power to it. It made me believe, as outrageous as it was, that she really could bring you back, reconstruct you. Maybe because I had seen her turn a door into an unmovable wall. Or maybe because I had heard her disembodied voice. But I don't think those are enough to explain it. My guess is, she had me under her spell. That was the moment I became the maid. And I assure you, I was at that point still the same Giselle you knew and loved. The sound of the rain never seems to stop. Am I hallucinating it, maybe? From the moment I lent my ear to the witch's sweet temptations, the mansion underwent an unimaginable transformation. No light shone through the windows, despite them still being unobstructed. Not morning, day, or evening. In fact, the concepts of morning, day, and evening did not seem to exist. The darkness resembled that of when the windows had all been sealed off, but there was something more fundamentally unreal about it. Like it was hovering over a vast, all-consuming abyss within a constant haze of malice. I felt like I had been cast in some unknown realm, and that was why there was nothing beyond the shadows. And the house was not the only thing that underwent changes. I, too, was no exception. In the blink of an eye, all my basic human urges vanished. I stopped feeling hungry, and I no longer needed sleep. Naturally, I was bewildered by what was happening to me, what I was turning into. I think I'll take a look around. Maybe there have been other changes. So I meandered through the mansion's halls. My original intent was to explore the entire house, but I found myself drawn to one room in particular. That's right, your bedchamber. There was no light, not a trace of color remaining in your bedchambers. But the bed was the same shape, the walls the same texture, the curtains the same design as when you'd been alive. Michel, I'm praying. I'm always praying. That someday we'll meet again. There's something hidden under the bed. What could it be? It's that painting. I never did get to ask why he got so angry about me seeing this. I'm sure it's something he didn't want to be reminded of. Perhaps having to do with his family. I was right not pressing him about it. What the... Did the painting just... Smirk at me? Oh God. Oh jeez, Giselle. What are you doing tripping over yourself? It was just that accursed witch messing with your head. No need to get spooked over a tasteless prank. When I stumbled, I guess I knocked a drawer open. There's something inside. Letters, it looks like? I shouldn't touch these. They're not mine. But I want something of Michel's to have. Something to remember him by. His letters would be in his handwriting. They would contain his words. Please forgive me, Michel. I don't mean you any ill will, but I'm going to take these. I must say, there are an impressive number of... What the? What on earth? It's like someone dumped an inkwell on every page. Why? Was this the witch's doing too? Yeah, it has to be. It must have been her. It definitely wasn't you, Michel, was it? The front door. I wonder what it's like outside. I can't get it open. What's going on? The bar isn't set, but it won't budge an inch. It's just like up in the tower. I know, the windows. They should open, and then I can... What's going on here? What the heck is going on? It's like there's an invisible wall in front of the window. My hand won't go any farther. This is rich. What else can I do but laugh? What in the world? This is madness. Hurry up, Michel. Return to me. And get me out of here. Please, get me out of here. I had no idea how to explain anything that had happened in the mansion, but it was clear enough that I was imprisoned within its walls. I was all alone in a nebulous sphere of bleak darkness, and beyond its walls lay void. The layout of the house remained unchanged, but I felt as though I had wandered into a twisting labyrinth. I could cry, but there was no one there to soothe me. All it did was provoke her disembodied cackling, which she followed with, "You chose this, my dear, so you need to hold yourself together and keep wishing." The only real pastime was cleaning. I dusted the same corners again and again, swept the same floors, polished the same dishes. One day I decided I'd read the books left in the library. Despite there being more than 100 volumes, I finished every one of them in what felt like no time at all. My life was a never-ending cycle. Day in and day out, day in and day out. The house had no visitors. No one, rather nothing at all set foot upon the property. There were no signs of other life whatsoever there. No birds singing in the morning, no cats sunbathing in the garden, no mice scurrying about the kitchen, no creepy, crawly insects. There was nothing. Nothing at all. The only thing that broke the long stretches of silence was her voice. Tell me, was she kind to you? Was she friendly and courteous? Because she was quite harsh when she spoke to me. These were the kinds of things she was always saying to me. "He didn't show up today, did he, my dear? Are you still praying, my dear? Do you think he'll actually come, my dear? I'm still wishing just like I promised, my dear. You know why he hasn't come back for you, my dear. Because perhaps he doesn't actually love you as much as you thought. My dear, my dear, my dear. Have you lost your mind yet?" "Shut up! I've had enough! I'm done with you!" "Enough! Please, enough already!" "Oh, what's got you so worked up? You love to talk, don't you? So why not have a nice little chat with me?" "This is not a chat." Maybe not in your mind, my dear. You seem to think chatting only constitutes conversations you enjoy. But I don't think the word's usage needs to be so restricted personally. You're just getting off on watching me squirm. Oh, not at all. You'll have all my best wishes if he ever does show up for you. So scary. If you're making that face when he shows up, he might not even recognize you. You haven't looked in a mirror recently, have you? Go on then, my dear. See just how frightful you've become. No. The witch was right. I looked nightmarish. My face was pale and lifeless, my eyes hollow, my cheeks sunken, heavy bags beneath my eyes. My hair had lost its sheen and it grew wildly. I was quickly losing everything that made me recognizable as me, and the thought sent a shiver down my spine. No, this isn't me. This is some kind of trick. You're trying to deceive me. Baseless accusations. You really must stop blaming people every time something doesn't turn out the way you want, my dear. But, my face was more what? More expressive, more cheerful, brighter, rosier. You're right. You were never this gloomy, were you? Right, I wasn't. I was always more cheerful than this. Naive girl. Could you be any more narcissistic? What you're looking at is undeniably exactly what you look like now. Time did not do that to you, nor did I. The negative energy oozing from within you is what's causing you to take on this form. Did you think you didn't have any dark, ugly emotions inside you? Did you believe you would always be able to smile, no matter what? Did you assume you were pure and beautiful? No one like that exists, my dear. What you see in the mirror is the true you. Your hideous, twisted heart. If you weren't always being so nasty, this never would have happened. Anyone's heart would be twisted listening to you long enough. So you're saying Michel's heart was twisted too? I spoke to him for years. No. I'm just teasing. I suppose I may have crossed the line there. I mean you no ill will, Giselle. Honest. Allow me to give you one word of advice, though. Look at yourself in the mirror often. If you continue deteriorating at this rate and end up looking like a corpse, when Michel comes and sees you, he won't jump for joy, but run away, screaming in terror. Stop talking. Please, just stop. You know, Giselle, this is only the very beginning. He might not show up for hundreds of years. I can't live that long. Absolutely brilliant. You still think you're alive. Well, the moment you agreed to come with me, you ceased to be of this world. So don't worry about time, my dear. You can wait as long as it takes. As long as it takes for him to arrive. As the witch had suggested, I started checking my appearance in the mirror every day. I wanted to ensure I didn't turn into some horrifying creature. My hair grew, so time seemed to be passing, but I didn't appear to age at all. The flow of time had become perplexingly vague and uncertain. Was it stopped, or was it moving? I couldn't tell. On occasion, I would practice smiling in front of the mirror. My smile was, after all, my one really distinctive feature, and I was certain you had seen me smiling more than anything. Even if my appearance had changed drastically, I thought you would still be able to recognize me by my smile. A woman staying alone in front of a mirror practicing how to smile? I'm sure that was quite the comical sight. And that was about how my days went, for an incomprehensibly long time. For the first 100 years, I kept track of how much time had passed. An hour, a day, a month, a year, 10 years, 50. But once it had surpassed a person's average lifespan, the counting started driving me mad, and so I stopped. My sense of time began to numb. In place of sleep, I spent my days in a trance-like state. Doing so, I was less aware of the passage of time, which made it a little easier to bear. Suspended in this bubble of time, my mind went out to you. The next thing I lost was a sense of myself. I lived as a human for 21 years. After spending nearly 10 times that trapped in the mansion, I began to feel like that was all I had ever been. That maybe my past was all a construction of my imagination. That, as an otherworldly being, I merely fantasized about being human. Had I actually had a family? Had there actually been other people in the world? Did cities and villages really exist? Was there ever really a time when light shone through the windows? When we were happy? But I knew if I started doubting everything, I wouldn't be able to maintain myself. So I settled on believing one thing. That you, Michel, were real. That you had been with me. That I had loved you. And that it was you I was waiting for. I tried to always remember that one fact. My characteristic energy and cheer were disappearing. By then, I hardly ever raised my voice anymore. In response to that change, the witch seemed to treat me a little nicer. On occasion, I thought I could sense her presence nearby, like she might reveal her form to me from beyond the darkness, instead of only speaking to me. I could feel her sitting beside me. Giselle, do you think you're still Giselle even now? I suppose it doesn't matter either way. Sometimes I think love and fanaticism are two sides of the same coin. What are you implying? Oh, nothing. I have an idea, though. Why don't we make you some new clothes, my dear? The loom should still work, thanks to your keeping everything in order. That outfit's an artifact of an age long past by now. You know how long it's been? Vaguely, but yes. As we speak, time still marches onward. Not too quickly, and not too slowly. But at the same pace as your breathing. Now, on your feet, Giselle. We have plenty of time, so let's make you the perfect maid's outfit. And if we don't have enough materials, we can make more thread from the sheets or curtains. How exciting! Following her instructions, I wove garments in a style that did not exist in my era. They were quite strange to behold. The old me might have been stricken with fascination by them. But at that point, I wasn't even sure how to rejoice, how to be impressed, or how to be moved anymore. It sounds like rain again. What year is it? It doesn't matter what year it is. It doesn't matter where it is. As long as you're there, it can be any time, anywhere. Where are you, Michel? What are you doing? I'm still praying. I'm still wishing for you to appear before me. Forever and ever and ever. And ever and ever and ever. I've been praying for so long, I don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said you were going to pray too. You said you hoped we could meet again in another life. I'm not misremembering, am I? Michel? Come back to me soon. I love you so very much. But my memories of you are starting to fade. What did your voice sound like? What kinds of faces did you make? Where did you like to put your hands on me? I don't want to forget. I want to always remember. My memories of you are the only thing holding me together. But they're slipping away from me. How did you speak? What kinds of things did you talk about? I'm losing all these memories. Please, Michel, come back to me. Before I forget everything. My beloved master. The thought crossed my mind that maybe Morgana's guarantee that you would be reconstructed was just a lie to trick me into staying here. But I quickly discarded it. Because if she had been lying, it would strip all meaning from my very existence. It would take from me my purpose for being here. So I didn't want to accept that possibility. I had no choice but to persevere in my belief that you would return. I had always thought I would be all right, that my faith would never waver. I still believed in myself. But you can be the happiest, most optimistic, resolute person in the world, and you will still break eventually. And I was at the point where even the slightest tap would shatter me into fragments. Several hundred years after I was enslaved within the mansion, something changed for the very first time. Sunlight, which I had not seen in all that time, shone in from outside. At first, I did not believe it was real. I thought it was a hallucination born of my inner desires, and I thought I must have completely lost it for my fantasies to have escaped my mind. But it didn't matter if it was all an illusion. The gentle breeze blowing in through the window felt wonderful. The smell of grass, the chirping of birds, the glistening blue sky, it was like 1,000 memories rushing back all at once, and it brought tears to my eyes. The time has come, Giselle. It's time for you to get to work. And as she always did, the witch's voice crushed my elation, dragging me back to reality. Reveling in the sight of the outside was the last thing I should have been doing, for it was that moment that began my true decline. Work? What kind of work? Have you already forgotten? Oh, good heavens. Do you have your head on straight, my dear? As I said, I need you to watch over the house, and show your utmost hospitality to those who show up. Is someone... This is merely an appetizer. It looks like someone's here. Hold on, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Do the same thing you have been doing. Be a maid. Convince the house's guest that this is a wonderful place. Make them enjoy their stay. Now go on. I'm quite looking forward to this. The bar has been removed, but will the door open? For so long the door had refused to budge. For so long the light had forsaken these halls. For so long there had been no trace of life. And now all that had been turned on its head. I felt like I had stepped into heaven on earth. I know it sounds melodramatic, so please don't laugh. It was almost certainly a perfectly ordinary slice of nature. Leaves and grass rustled in the wind, flowers specked the earth, and in the distance was a city I didn't recognize. I wondered where I was, of course, but I neither shouted nor jumped in surprise. Instead, I found myself accepting my circumstances, as unnatural as they might have been. As I was standing there idly before the entrance, a carriage rolled up. Egad, could this road be any bloody worse? It's in dire need of paving on top of everything else. Who might you be, young lady? That outfit. He's speaking a different language. The middle-aged man approached me. From his attire and the way he held himself, he appeared to be upper class. However, the words coming out of his mouth were not the language I had grown up speaking. Could this mansion have moved somewhere far, far away? Naturally, I had no idea how such a thing was possible. And the longer I stood there staring at him absentmindedly, the else he became. My immediate mission was to overcome the language barrier. Fortunately, I suppose, I was able to understand bits and pieces of what he had said. As merchants in the capital, my family did business with people from other countries, and as a result I had learned a handful of words. The problem was, it had been so long ago I had no confidence whatsoever in my ability to hold conversation. I am a servant. Servant? Can't say I remember asking for a lady servant, but I suppose these things do happen. Doesn't much matter who they sent. Who are you? You weren't informed? Bloody hell, off to a great start, I see. Well, what can you do, I guess? Name's Hayden Rhodes. Just a retired old man. As I am sure you have already guessed, this man was the Rhodes siblings' grandfather. He was also the first person I served under as the maid. For a member of an esteemed noble family, Hayden was a bit on the eccentric side. He only hired a handful of servants, claiming he was not fond of clamor. There was a single chef, a physician, a servant to take care of all the cleaning, and then me, who served as his personal assistant. Whenever he got the chance, Hayden would chase me down and make me practice proper etiquette. According to him, I had much to learn. You are at least technically a servant of the Rhodes family, young lady, so I can't have you going around playing the country bumpkin act. Yes, sir. We'll have to do something about that accent, too, while we're at it. I have an accent? Thicker than bloody molasses. Now, I have no interest in sticking my nose into your business, asking where you hail from. But while you're here, you must act the part, young lady. Lucky for you, I'm retired and have all the time in the world. I'll teach you everything you need to know about proper etiquette. All right. Speak up, will you? Yes, sir. Hayden did not go easy on me either. In addition to my day-to-day duties, I studied etiquette, the language, proper pronunciation, and formal diction. Anytime I made the slightest mistake, he would shout his dissatisfaction. Listen carefully. A servant is the face of a house. A servant's gaff is her master's gaff. Always keep this in mind, you are not just a maid. You must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure, even if the house is falling down around you. Whatever happens, you deal with it quickly and quietly. Your language must be immaculate. No ums, uhs, or pauses. For any reason. Yes, sir. No stammering either. Sorry. Bloody hell, you are not going to make this easy, are you? Whose idea was that the country bumpkin would make a good servant? I'd like to give him a piece of my mind. I'm not from the country. Not even slightly. I was raised in the capital. Is that so, eh? Prim and proper city girl, are you? In that case, you should be a quick study. Absolutely. I can learn anything in a week, tops. Piece of cake. Is that so? All right then, starting tomorrow, I'm tripling your lessons. I didn't think this through. In addition to being my master, Hayden was my teacher. When he yelled, he grew twice his size, and I shrunk to half mine. But it wasn't at all an unpleasant experience, because I knew he wasn't raising his voice to belittle me. His instruction may have been harsh, but it was human interaction. There were people around that I could talk to, and that was wonderful. I was starting to regain some of my humanity. Unlike me, you've still got a long life ahead of you, young lady. I don't know what kind of life you've lived, but I can't imagine it's been all that easy. Not many servant girls your age without a home to go back to. Which is why you need to learn this. Once you've got all the rules and customs down, you'll be able to hold your own in any noble's estate. You shouldn't have any trouble keeping yourself employed. I'm sure you think I'm just a loud, obnoxious old man, but I believe we met for a reason, so I hope you'll stick with me. I don't think about you like that at all, Master. You're a remarkable man. One more time. I deeply appreciate your generous consideration, Master, from the bottom of my heart. I didn't know much about Hayden's situation, why he had retired to this mansion all alone away from the rest of his family. But anytime I asked about them, he would say, "It happens sometimes," with a melancholic frown. Before long, 2 years had passed. By that point, my etiquette had improved enough to satisfy his high standards. In that time, the mansion underwent a number of decor changes, as Hayden brought in sculptors to work on different areas of the house. He also sealed off rooms that were not in use, such as the observation tower and the chapel. It was a sad thing, seeing areas with so many memories for me falling into disuse. But as a mere servant, I had no say in the matter. In addition, Hayden seemed to greatly enjoy renovating the house, so I watched him warmly. The furniture was all gradually replaced. Gorgeous paintings hung on the walls, colorfully patterned curtains installed. And a brilliant rose garden planted. Those roses came from all across the world. Nowhere else you can see so many different varieties in one place. It's beautiful. Did you know that in the city people are starting to call the mansion Rose Manor? Rose Manor. And to think there used to be nothing but weeds here. Amazing how much it's changed. I never thought I would see this garden turned into something so beautiful. Are you fond of roses, young lady? Yes, red ones especially. Red roses mean a great deal to me. They remind me of a time long past. Given one as a gift, were you? No, I believe I was the one who gave the rose. So red roses are a symbol of my feelings. They're very precious to me. I gave you a rose as a gift. You plucked it from its stem and placed it in my hair. Am I remembering correctly? My memories are so vague now. I can't even remember the look on your face that day. There are some kids I'd like to give roses to myself. Who? My grandchildren. Oh my, you have grandchildren? Though we haven't been in touch for some time. Last I saw them was 4 years ago, when my second grandchild was born. The sweetest girl in the world with lovely flaxen hair. She's going to be a real beauty when she grows up. Anyway, they're wonderful kids. And one day I want to hand this garden over to them. Each and every rose contains my hope that they'll lead comfortable, healthy lives free of strife. I'm sure your wish will come to pass. Your grandchildren will have wonderful lives. The grief of not having you around still weighed heavily on my mind. But I was slowly approaching contentedness. Life with Hayden was slow and uneventful, peaceful and relaxing. I imagined my heart was seeking anything to alleviate its pain. And it found that in the beautifully remodeled mansion, the garden blooming wildly with roses, and my time with Hayden, I was even beginning to think this life was enough for me. That I would be okay with this being the end if it meant more of the tranquility I felt. I was like a coward considering giving up the fight. Please do forgive me for ever considering such a thing. Hayden seemed to be in high spirits that day. A gift had apparently arrived from his son who lived far away. In it was a tea set, some leaves, and a small jar of sugar. Miss! How can I be of service, master? Brew me up a pot of this, would you? Be careful not to steep it for too long. You want to get it just right for the best flavor. As you wish, master. You seem quite pleased. Why would I be? A boy who shunned his old man for years sends him a paltry gift on a whim. I'm just entertaining his fancy. Your tea is ready, master. What a wonderful smell. Tea and roses are life's best damn spices. Well, let's see what that boy chose for me. If it's no good, I'll be sure to write him an angry letter. He looks so happy. He must really love his family. It's a little bitter. Shall I brew another pot? No, it's not your fault. Must be something in the leaves. Would you like to add some sugar, then? There was a small jar of it with the tea set. Now that's some bloody fine sugar he's procured. White as snow and sparkles with delight. He chose it just for you, master. Bloody hell, what demon possessed him? Alright, give me 2 spoons, then. Yes, master. Here you are. Splendid. This is some exquisite tea. The sugar balances the bitterness of the leaves perfectly. I guess that boy does have some... Master? Master! Master! The doctor! I need to find the doctor! Water! Water! I'll get you some water right away. So please, please hang in there. Thanks to the quick treatment provided by his personal physician, Hayden survived. But he didn't make it out with much more than his life. He was permanently bedridden by the affair. Evidently, the sugar I had put in his tea had contained poison, which had done irreparable damage to his nerves and muscles. Most of his body was completely immobile except for his left arm. Can I bring you something? Some water? I've had more than my fill of water. You don't need to wait on me hand and foot. That face says you'll need to distract yourself by working. Remember what I told you. A noble family's servants must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure. But how can you expect me to remain composed? If I had only examined the sugar more thoroughly. You never would have noticed, young lady. I examined the sugar and didn't see a bloody thing wrong with it. He was damn crafty, that's for sure. Why would he do this? His inheritance, I presume. Something must have come up and he needed money quickly. That's no reason to poison your own father. Blood is nothing but an obstacle to ambition. Or maybe he just hated me. How could anyone possibly hate you? Perhaps that could be said of the me you know. But when you live as long as I have, you're bound to make an enemy or two. Mine just has happened to be my son. I was planning to give him everything anyway. He didn't have to do this. It all would have been his. Master, killing me doesn't accomplish anything. But I guess it doesn't much matter. Say, could I ask you something, young lady? What can I do for you? I don't want it to get out that Hayden Rose is poisoned, so could you tell people that I passed away peacefully with a beautiful nurse tending to my every need? You're not dead yet. Please don't talk like that. You're scaring me. No stammering. But I'm not saying it'll happen immediately. But I am an old man, and one day you'll wake up and I'll be gone. This is about my own pride, not my son. The last thing I want to do is go out with a black spot on my name. Tell me you'll do this, Giselle. He's never said my name before. As you wish. Thank you. You're a peculiar girl, you know. Sometimes you seem even greener than the leaves in summer, and sometimes you look like you've seen 12 kinds of hell. And every so often you seem not of this world. Your skin is pale, your hands as cold as ice. At one point I thought you might be death himself. But I was wrong about that. You have too big a heart to be death. You care too much. You must be carrying a very heavy cross on your back. What am I supposed to do? I don't want to lose you, Lord Hayden. I don't want to lose this life. You have someone, don't you, young lady? Someone you're dying to meet again. Yes, but I don't know anymore. I don't know how long I'm supposed to keep waiting. If something doesn't happen soon, I don't think I can hold myself together much longer. I was so close to breaking down, and it was you who kept me on my feet. I'm sure you've tried to remain strong plenty of times, so I'll give you some different advice. A trick for when you think you're losing hold of yourself. Build a cocoon. A cocoon? A sturdy shell to keep your weak inner self safe. This world has no interest in protecting you, only swallowing you whole. So you mustn't readily expose your true self. You build a cocoon, and you play the role you need to play. That way the real you will remain unharmed. It's not pleasant to hide yourself like that, but it is better than letting the world crush you. But a word of warning, if you spend too long in the cocoon, the real you is liable to disappear forever. You'll be swallowed up by your own protective shell. I hope you find whoever it is before it's too late. Now, I think I'll get some sleep. All this talking's worn me out. As you wish. Good night, Master. See you in the morning. See you in the morning, young lady. The next day, Hayden was dead. He had strangled himself with his left hand. I should have been more attentive. I should have recognized how much pain he was in. How much it crushed him to have been betrayed by his own family. I should have realized how he truly felt. How fragile he really was. I fell into a hopeless gloom. I could hardly believe that the quiet life I had finally attained had been shattered in the blink of an eye. Hayden's other servants quickly went their own ways, and I vividly remember the dirty looks they all gave me. Everyone knew how he had died, assumed I had done it. I had no reason to kill him, though. But they had more than enough to believe so, for I had indeed been the last person to see him alive. And I held firmly to the story he had asked me to tell. While I was unable to convince the other servants, his family was far more accepting of the story that he had departed for the next world happily, though that did not make the truth any less heartbreaking, especially since I was the only one who knew it. Why does this always have to happen? I was happy, but I can never seem to keep hold of it for more than a flash. Despair always comes, marching in to rip it away. What am I doing here? What kind of person were you, Michel? What kind of person was I? Oh, my dear, you look positively miserable. Why should you despair at the death of some strange old geezer? Morgana, was Hayden one of those whom you wish to be reconstructed? I have no interest in that wrinkled bag of bones. And if he was one of them, do you really think I would have let him go so peacefully? Peaceful? You call that peaceful? You call his misery peaceful? I most certainly do. And since you do not seem to understand this, the pain of death lasts but an instant. The worst torture can only be inflicted upon the living. Setting two loved ones against one another, manipulating one into taking the other's life, and then forcing him to live with that. The stage hasn't even been set yet, my dear. And you would have me play a part in that? Indeed. You agreed to accompany me. You are here to be my guide. And you're doing a wonderful job of it so far. I haven't done anything. Oh, but you killed that old man, did you not? Thanks to you, my wish is one step closer to fruition. What do you mean I killed Hayden? You mean to claim you didn't? Tell me, who was it that put the poisoned sugar in his tea? No, I didn't mean to. Your intentions are irrelevant. Everything moves along the path forged by my wish, and you shall continue to follow its will. You know what? I'm done feeling like this. I don't want anyone else to go through what Hayden did. And what are you going to do about it? I'm done listening to you. Without me, you have no influence over this world. Oh ho. So I'll die. I'll take my own life right here and now. I grabbed a nearby knife and held its tip against my breast. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding. My whole body was racked with terror, but I could have sworn I heard Morgana gasp. This was her one weakness, I thought. What are you thinking? Don't do this, Giselle. Don't be foolish. Put the knife down right now. I'm done. Trusting anything you say. Giselle, put the knife down. I've missed you so very much, Michel. I've wanted nothing more than to see you again. But if my being Morgana's guide is going to cause other people suffering, then I can't. It's all over, Morgana. Huh? There's no blood? Not even pain? Why? Absolutely brilliant. I told you not to be foolish, but you just wouldn't listen to me. Such a silly girl. I really am. I couldn't even die if I wanted to. Learning that absolutely crushed me. My backup plan, the one escape route I had thought available to me, had been ripped away. My spirit crumbled, and I felt myself sinking into a vast darkness. I began losing my grip on myself, which is when I recalled Hayden's advice. Build a cocoon. It was the only option I had left, my final chance of protecting myself. Although ultimately I was unsuccessful in that endeavor, as you know. But by that point, my mind and spirit had all but been lost. Eroded away by the years of solitude, the witch's whispers, the brief glimmer of happiness, and the eternal, boundless darkness it had left me in. It was in that moment that all the light drained from my eyes. And it was in that moment that the Maid was born.